Hello, everyone. If you're just joining me, welcome to Love and Money Talk. I'll be with you in a very, very short while. I just want to put this out there. Yes, I think I'm done. Good evening and welcome to today's edition of Love and Money Talk. It's Monday, and on Mondays, it's all about money. Fridays, of course, we talk about love. Apologies for not, should I even be apologizing? Because I never promised anyone I'm going to be here. But anyway, I was supposed to be here on Monday, but last week Monday, I was in Ibadan. I was a guest at the MBA Spiral conference, and then person talks more. And when you're abroad, when you are not abroad, sorry, please. When you're away from home, sometimes things just get out of hand. So well done, everyone. Please, if you notice that my eyes aren't focused on you, kindly bear with me because I'm on like 1, 2, 3, 4 devices that I'm speaking on all at once. I'm live on Twitter, live on Instagram, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. And for the first time, I can do live YouTube. So normally, like I've said, I've scheduled I've gotten control back of my social media handles and the way I handle things. In the last few years, for people that have been following me in the last 7 years, I've been on Twitter and more than that on Facebook. I always talk about financial literacy, teach financial independence, business. I used to have a live program no, was it live? No, it wasn't live. It was a recorded radio program. I think that was in 2012 on FM 92.9. It's called Let's Do Business with Aisha. And of course, I was doing that also on Twitter and also on my Facebook channel. But over the time, I've been so focused on Nigerian issue every day, one bad news or the other, this, that, and you sort of end up all the time you're talking about Nigerian issue and forgetting that you're supposed to grow yourself and also grow the people around you. So I made up my mind. I'm coming back. I'm getting my life back. Why is that up there? Sorry. I'm getting my this and I'm going to talk about issues that I decide I'm going to talk about. And one of the things that for me it's very instructive about me is the fact that I like to do my own thing when I want to do it, how I want to do it, and where I want to do it, and whether I want to do it. And so it's the control that I love. And that's one of the things that I love as a self-employed person who has always been, I've always been self-employed. I'm a businesswoman, I'm a market woman. My husband doesn't like it when I say market woman, but basically I'm an entrepreneur. And what an entrepreneur does, the difference between entrepreneur and a business owner is the fact that an entrepreneur, with or without an entrepreneur in the place, the business will run. You understand? Whatever it is that they're doing, they will run. They don't need to be there for it to run. But in the case of a business owner, they have to be there for the enterprise to run or the business to run. And whenever they are not there, it's a major problem. So I'm an entrepreneur. I'm not a business owner. I'm a market woman. That's why I'm a trader. It's the simplest form. I just like to describe myself. There are no hues about it. It's just being what it is. And then, of course, today we'll be talking about financial independence. The last time 2 weeks ago when we spoke about financial independence. And what we are doing now is the path towards that financial independence. We first of all said that financial independence is when your passive income can take care of your expenses. I love passive income. The fact that I'm with you today, I'm doing this, I'm speaking to you, I can speak this good English comes from the fact that my father had passive income before he lost his business. And so when he was working, he bought shares, and every year they will bring in dividends. And I tell you, those dividends are the reason why I got the kind of education that I got, because otherwise I would have finished from the government secondary school that I used to be in, and I probably would not be able to speak English the way I'm speaking and right now. And this voice that would have died in me. So thank God for that. I always was how do I put it now? I always was so intrigued by that whole thing. And as soon as I grew up into an adult, I took time out to actually learn about financial independence, to actually learn about get more knowledge, be financially literate. Did I get that right? Anyway, so it's all about working on that financial literacy and getting that financial knowledge about financial independence. One of the books that I love, anytime people ask me recommend a book, straight on I say to people, The Richest Man in Babylon. Amazing book. You have what's this person's Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's also a good book. There's so many books out there that one can actually keep reading, keep learning. It's very I find it so, how do I put it? Should I say instructive or sad? The fact that many people are not deliberate about their financial life, and also are not deliberate about their love life. And we sort of like leave it all to chance. Okay, we'll see what happens. I will marry when I'm married, or I will be in a relationship when somebody calls, especially for women. And I think, why would you be a passive participant in the relationship that you want to be an active participant? It doesn't make sense, does it? So as much as possible, you will be that active participant in or out of marriage. Like I said the other day, I tweeted, I said, look, asking for anybody's hand in marriage, it shouldn't be gender based. It should be based on capacity based. Who is ready to settle down? Who has the capacity to settle down financially, emotionally, psychologically, and all of that? That's what should matter. It doesn't matter whether you're a woman or a woman can ask for a man's hand in marriage. A man can ask for a woman's hand in marriage. And that's as simple as that is. And what's the big deal? And you can marry somebody younger than you, can marry somebody older than you. I mean, if you have, I saw a 40-something-year-old who recently married a 23-year-old guy. Good for her. And people are like, I said, what's the big deal? It's all about who has the capacity. You have the love, you have the financial capacity, you have the psychological capacity, you have the emotional capacity. Just kindly go for it. But anyway, today we are not talking about love. Today it's about money. And so I find out that also people just wait. You get your money, they spend it, they move, and they're wondering, where is the money going to? The thing is that if you do not have, how do I normally put it? If you do not have, what's the word now? Oh God, sometimes as I grow older, I realize that sometimes the words just escape from a plan. Okay, that's the word I'm looking for, plan. If you do not have plans for your money will have plans for itself, and others will have plans for that your money. That's when you're keeping your money. The next thing, somebody is coming to tell you that their wife have delivered, and their wives have delivered, and they need money to do naming ceremony. As in 9 months, your child gave you 9 months notice. You didn't use that 9 months to look for money that you used to do ceremony. By the way, even if you do not have money to do naming ceremony, is it by force? Hi, hello, oh my goodness, my wife has delivered. She delivered a bouncing baby girl. Oh, and her name is ABC. That's all. You don't owe anybody nothing. You don't have to do naming ceremony for anybody if you don't have money. I find when people are coming to borrow frivolous things, borrow money to buy shoes for wedding, or I want to do one thing or the other, people will be borrowing money. But then you don't have plans for your money, guess what will happen? You will end up giving them that money, and then you will have nothing, and you have nothing on ground. Spend the money, you work for the money, you earn the money, you spend the money, and that's it. And 2 months later, or whatever, you two are in the same position, you're asking for one thing or the other. So it's very important for people to actually be deliberate. Like I said earlier, we talked about financial independence in the last 2 weeks, right? And we said financial independence is when your passive income can take care of your expenses, one. And then the question, of course, is what is passive income? Passive income is that income that you no longer have to work for to get it. So the thing is, that keyword is you no longer have to work for. You have worked for it before. You have earned the money. You've worked for. You used your money, or you've worked for it, and now you just sit back and begin to relax and enjoy the good that comes from it. So it's not as if you are not working at all. You just sit down at home and then money start coming. This is not MMM. This is not Ponzi scheme. There's nothing like that. So you actually have worked for the money. You put it to work, and then the money will be bringing returns for you. That's passive income. And examples of passive income, we give things like rent, things like what's this thing again? Oh my goodness. I hope I've not been speaking to myself, and people on Twitter have not even been hearing me. Oh Lord have mercy. I hope that's not what happened. But anyway, I think the mic is on now. So the thing is that in terms of, so things like rent is, you build a house, you're collecting rent, it's passive income. are things like dividends, shares. You buy shares, they are paying you dividends every year. Is passive income. So these are things like royalties. You've written a book, you have music, one thing or the other. All of these things are actually passive income. And so those are passive income. Then active income are actually the income that you have to work for before you can get them. Things like your salaries, things like your profit. And I always, always, always emphasize on this issue because many people think that their profit is not active income. Many people think that, oh, if they are no longer working for somebody, they are working for themselves, that means they have freedom. No, you don't have freedom. It's still the same thing. It's still the same active income. If your business goes down today, you'll not be able to get any money to make your to take care of your expenses. So it's the same thing. It's just that here you have more control over it than the where you're earning a salary. And sometimes it can be more demanding. But the good thing about it is whatever you put in, you're able to get the reward, in how do I put it now? Totally with the kind of the effort you're putting in. Unlike when you're working for somebody, you can be working so hard, so hard, and then what you're getting is it's very little. So many people do make this mistake. Uh, Okay, Bukola Oladimeji Jedida, how are you, sister? One of the things you need to know about me is the fact that I do what I want to do, how I want to do it, and when I want to do it. And it doesn't matter. So whether I see you saying that, oh, I'm better as an activist, well, you know me as an activist. Many people know me as a trader because that's the first thing that I am, first and foremost. By the way, I'm not even an activist. I'm actually an active citizen. And everybody needs to be an active citizen because at the end of the day, nobody owes you activism. Okay, so back to the to what I was talking about. So in terms of active income, is actually money you have to work for you to be able to earn it. So as we go on, we've been talking about financial literacy. Like last week, part of the video I uploaded and we talked about was on what assets and liabilities are. And so the question I'm going to ask, part of the things that we need to understand on our way towards getting financial independence is that we need to know so many things and what they really are. For example, if you're talking about assets and liabilities, there is this simple definition that I found years ago about assets and liabilities, and it's just stuck with me. For me, I love simple explanation. I don't like big grammar because I don't even sabi the big grammar. And honestly, it's always about making things easy. It's not about having things that are so much all over, big grammar and feeling fanciful and all of that. Assets are simply things that put money in your pocket. If it's putting money in your pocket, it is an asset. If it is taking money away from your pocket, then it's a liability. Many people do say that, oh, okay, sometimes when you say to people, oh, some of the things that people think are assets are actually liabilities. And then somebody will say that, okay, what about your car? If you have a car that you're using, is that an asset or a liability? Most times the car you are using in your house is actually a liability. It's not an asset because you're spending money on it. It's not bringing money on you, except, for example, if you have people who are using their cars for business or they've given them out for people, they are bringing you returns to them. Those are the ones that actually have those cars are assets. But for those of us that just have, what do you call this thing? Just have car or maybe cars, most of them are actually liabilities because at the end of the day, you're spending more on them than even if maybe you were taking a cab. For example, except for those if you're going to work and then it's cheaper for you to have your own car than take a cab, it's more then that becomes an asset because you're actually saving money. It's putting money in your pocket. But where you're not saving money, you have your big car, you have to service it all the time, you have to take it to the mechanic, you have to do one thing or the other, then it is not an asset, it's actually a liability. People look at it from the fact that, oh, okay, but after a while you will sell it for much more value, especially in Nigeria, where because of inflation, something you probably bought 1 million today, by the time you're selling it years on, is a bit more than that. But it's because of the inflation. If you look at the value of the money when you bought it is actually quite less. And one of the examples I used to make that, go to a car dealer, right, and pick a brand new car. The moment you pick that car, you buy it, you sign the papers, and you have driving out, maybe 10% value has gone down. Then you go in and then you put the registration, you get registration, though I bet you 20-30% have gone down. By the time you're driving it and all that, you want to sell it, they'll be pricing it. Maybe if you even get 50%, you'll be lucky. You know, there are many times when you want to sell something and you're telling to people, please, I want to sell this. And most times they don't buy it at the rate at which you had bought it. So that's why it's not an asset. It's actually a liability. Even the houses that we live on, don't get me wrong, when you build your own house and you're living in your own house, there's the kind of freedom that it gives you to be able, I don't know how to explain it. It gives you this freedom that you are able to now make some decisions, sometimes a bit reckless. You are settled. No landlord is coming to disturb you and all of that. But in some cases, it's really not an asset. It's actually a liability because you're spending the money you've used to build it, that you've tied up, and then you're the one, you're staying in it. The money you're using to repair it and all of that, except of course if you live in a house where if you were going to rent, the money you would have paid in rent is much more. It's so much that when you're paying it, it's much more than what you're using to stay in the house and live in the house and take care of the house. You still have extra that you're putting in your pocket, then it becomes a liability. The house you're living in probably might not be an asset in a way, but then it's appreciating. So it's a bit here and there, and then depending on how much it is appreciating, those are the things that you calculate. So when all of these things you calculate them, you'll be able to look at, are they assets or are they liabilities? But sometimes, it's the second house, the third house, the fourth house, the fifth house, where you now have tenants are staying, they're paying rent, they're bringing money. There's something sweet about you just see, boop, boop, that alert, boop, boop, and then you're checking all of those things. So these are the things that help sort of. Okay, Ahmed. Omobolale said, okay, engineer Romina. Thank you so much for those of you who are here. Welcome, engineer. And then thank you, everyone. One of the things that I've made up my mind, like I said earlier on, it's on Mondays, I'm going to talk solely about money. And that's it. I've put out this and I'm going to control what I talk about because it's my handle, it's my social media and all of that. So today you're going to hear that talk about money. It's going to be about money, and this is it that we're doing. Thank you, well done. I was about to get your name and then it just went up because other people had come in. So that is it. So talking about assets and liabilities is very important for us to know what it is that we're actually buying. You find out that many people, they just go up, you just see, okay, you have how many cars in your garage? You have so. Although we're going to talk about buying junk also in terms of working towards financial independence, but then there are certain things that people are just buying, this designer, that they're really not assets. People think they are assets, but then they are taking money away from you. And when you want to sell them, you do not get the value that we want to sell them. I did this, I think, 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to repeat it again. And this is about wealth. What is wealth? A lot of people mistake what wealth is all about. And then when you're talking about wealth, people are looking at, okay, what kind of money does the person have? Let me just go back a little bit. Financial independence has nothing to do with how much money you have. It just simply is all about you have passive income that can take care of your expenses. That's it. It doesn't mean that you have plenty money or you don't. All it means is that there's passive income that can take care of your expenses. And so when we talk about wealth, for example, let me give you an example. Let's talk about two people, X and Y. X has 20 million in their account and X has 20 million in his account or her account, then Y has 200,000 in his account or her account. Who is wealthier? I know, the most common thing always is the fact that many people will just say X is wealthier because they have 20 million in their account, right? But that's not it. You need to find out, okay, the question that should be asked is, what is their expenses, for example, per month? How much do they spend? How much do they need to spend to take care of themselves in a month? So that's where the trick is. So X needs spends 1 million naira to maintain his or her lifestyle. Y needs 10,000 naira to maintain his or her lifetime. So now who is wealthier? In 20 months, if X is not working at all, there's no work, nothing. In 20 months, the 20 million will be over. He will have nothing. The same thing Y, in 20 months, if Y doesn't have any source of income, passive income, and it's not working, in 20 months, the Y will have nothing. So it simply means that X and Y, nobody is wealthy. They're the same level. They are 20 months wealthy. It is only 20 months that they can last without they having to take care, without they working and still be able to take care of their expenses. So when you're talking about wealth, it's not how much you have, it's not what you have, it's how long you can take care of yourself. And that's what is most critical. And of course, in the last week, we talked about the fact that there's ice beef, where Jim Rohn talked about financial independence and said that if you want to be financially independent, you have to turn your income into capital, turn your capital into enterprise, turn your enterprise into profit, turn your profit into income, and then turn your profit into investment, and then that investment gets you to financial independence. But the thing is that there are people who cut out a particular part. For example, income to capital to enterprise. So some people are not good at enterprise. So let me explain what this means. So first of all, when you get your money, for example, for those who go the business route, you get your money, you have an income. So they say, make that money that you've got, whether salary or whatever it is, turn it into capital, turn it into something that can work for you. Because that's what a lot of people don't do. They don't put their money to work for them. They just earn money, they spend it, or before they even earn the money, they have spent it. Instead of getting the money and making the money slave for them, work for them, and then bring more returns to them, they just eat it. So when you get that income, you turn it into capital, and that capital into enterprise. For example, I get money now, the next year I go and start business, right? And then when you get that capital into enterprise, it will give you profit. That profit is what you now invest. But there are people that are going to cut off the ice part, the income, capital, enterprise part. Why? They are not interested in business. There are some people, when they come, what kind of business? I say, look, you need to first of all know, are you good at business? It's not everybody that is good at business, and it's not everybody that should be doing business. There are certain people that are good at business. There are certain people who are amazing employees. Please keep on being your employee. What you need to do is that when you get that money, when you get your salary, we're going to talk about it as we go on in all of this. When you get that your money, you put certain amount aside, right? You keep putting it aside until it gets to a substantial amount. And what you now do is to invest it. And when you are investing, please look at investing in passive income yielding investments, or investments that we appreciate over time. All of these quick, bring your money 50%, it will end in tears. When people come to me, I have over the years, I think for over like 15 years or so, people will go, I have this amount of money. What should I invest in? I say, look, first of all, learn the ropes, learn the financial literacy, learn what it is about. It's not what business do I start? I say to people, every business is a billionaire maker. The thing is that, are you ready to give what it takes? Are you ready to pass the perseverance test? Are you ready to give it your all? So all of these people who are looking for these quick riches, in no time they will pay you 50%, they will pay you 100% because you're on your own. That's just it. And for me, my this is always, look, learn about it. If you do not have control over the money, you better think twice before you're putting your money in there. So some people can actually get their salaries and then, keep investing. You're buying properties, you're buying lands, you're building houses little by little by. Some people say, where is the money? There's never any money. You start small. You start by saving your money. Okay, you've already go around. You don't have any cover. Since the number of times I've gone to Price Plus when I know I don't have any cover, you if I tell you want to slap me. But you see, when you go there, what it does is that it opens up your mind to possibilities that are out there. And so what you're trying to do is, okay, how do I get this thing? This so land, they say it's so amount, it's 500,000, it's 1 million naira, it's 2 million, it's 10 million, it's 20, 100, whatever it is. Okay, then you begin to save towards it. Because you know that there's this project on ground, you won't be spending money anyhow. and then you begin to put your money towards that. So that's what happens when you plan. You give your money, you plan for your money. Otherwise, the money will be planning for you, and you'll be buying things anyhow. That's when you'll be changing your phone. You have phone you are using because it's a latest one. You go and change the latest one. You just bought one less than a year ago for maybe probably 200,000. Then another one will come out to buy. Meanwhile, you're still living in a rented apartment. They swear for you from your village. You know, go talk to yourself. So these are some of the things that need to be done. So as soon as you're saving this money, you're buying these things, and then you're having it. So that's where you get to that profit, which brings income, and then financial independence. And one day it's bringing in income for you. You can actually be able to, take care of yourself. For this week, for the video, if you check my social media pages, the video that I put up today was basically about paying off your debt. So in one of the things in working towards financial independence, one of the things that really must happen is that people need to pay off their debts, but mostly bad debts. Before I talk about that, I'm going to explain there are two types of debts, right? How is it debts? DEBTS, debts. They say the B is silent. So me, I'm wondering if the B is silent, why did they put it there? Because couldn't they have just said DETS of all the caning we got in school? Anyway, back to the conversation. There's actually two kinds of debts. We have the good one, and you also have the bad one. The good debt is the debt that you're using to buy assets. Remember what assets are. Assets are those things that will put money in your pocket, right? And then the bad debts are the ones you're using to pay, to buy liabilities. Liabilities are the ones that will take money away from your pocket. They do not bring anything here. And they do not bring anything into your own pocket. And so for example, somebody is okay, which one is when you buy asset? For example, there are people who actually borrow money to travel. They are going out of the country, they want to go on holiday, and then they borrow money, and it's crazy. I've actually literally witnessed one who went on holidays. She took her on holidays, and then she came back. She was a single parent. She couldn't pay school fees. Had to go and meet somebody to buy. Like, why did you do that? If they don't go on holidays, that the children, when they return back from school, other people will be talking about holidays, and they won't have anything to talk about, and then they will make fun of them. I was just wondering, why can't you just say to your children that, we can't go on holidays? I remember when my children, we changed their school and came to Abuja from Kaduna, and the fees was, oh my goodness, out of this world. I had to call my children because we used to travel every time, even if it's midterm out. I was the one person that I can wake up in the morning and decide that by this evening we are traveling, and we pick our passport. We go out of there. I remember when I traveled with my kids to Ghana. Crazy! Oh my goodness! I am really one crazy human being. We picked up when I bought the ticket, went to Ghana at the airport. I didn't even have a hotel. I didn't know anywhere. It was at the airport. I picked a taxi and I said to the taxi man, I needed to take me to a good hotel. And then he said, there was this hotel that Obama had stayed in when he came into this or something like that, or like they called it Obama, whatever hotel, which he took us there. It was quite a nice, comfortable hotel. And we stayed there. We spent the midterm break with myself and my kids. And my kids were so little. When was this? I can't remember, 2006 or something like that. And it was fun. It was fun. So I'm that kind of person that at the drop of hat, we're doing that. But when we came to the school and the school fees were quite expensive, I said to my children, the holidays are gone. We can't afford holidays anymore. And from then, that was in 2011, right? We didn't do major together holiday again until 2015. So what we now did, because for me, I love holidays, and for me, they're all educating. So we traveled individually. So my kids they would do their own holidays, ski holidays, all of that. And so what's the big deal about coming to your children and saying to them, sorry, we can't go on holiday? I remember 2011, we didn't travel abroad. So when we went to Benue State, and it was fun. That's why it's so painful what's happening in Benue State right now, because it was such a peaceful place, and my kids had the most fun. And they still talk about it like mustache. There are different places with some weird, funny names like that. Is it mustache something? And it was so hilarious. So why can't you just tell your children and that, oh, you can't go on holiday? Why do they have to go because other people are going? How do you develop? Is that how you're going to develop their self-worth and their self-esteem and all those other things? And also very important, please, for those of you who have kids or plan to have kids, try to discuss your financial state with your children. It's a part of education. So I see a lot of parents, when they're going through financial crisis, they hide it away from their children. They do not want their children to know about it. They say that, no, for me, my children always know about it, because it's a learning process, so that when they too are going through financial, they would know that this is a normal thing, because they remember mommy and daddy used to go through it and they used to come out of it, and we take advice. We sit down, we actually have meetings. We have financial meetings. My kids, even when they were little, we sit down, we talk. Oh, these things are bad, this is this, what do you need to do? It helps, because financial literacy is something mostly that it's not taught both in school and at home. And these were some of the things that are, for me, I said, no, my kids were going to be financially literate. And they are all through, even when before they were 10, they were attending seminars on financial literacy. I taught them, read books. If you check my listing there are so many Robert Kiyosaki books for kids. We all read them together. And so it's very important, just talk to your children about it, and just don't feel that, they are not supposed to know about it. So in terms of, so these are good debts, are the debts that you use to buy things that, for example, you invest. You want to buy a land, you want to buy properties, you want to buy things assets that will bring money into your pocket. Bad debts are the ones that are using for liabilities. For example, there's an ashrebi, you go and buy. The one that it's most common. And honestly, I used to do it. And so I used to sell things. In 2000, the first business I started was in the year 2000. And what I used to do then was that I used to go to Dubai. And then the first time I traveled to Dubai was actually in the year 2000. And it was such, dollar was about 3.65 real. If you still go to Dubai today, I'm sure it's between that. The last time I was in Dubai, when was that 2008? I haven't gone to that country in a long while. It was still 3.6 something. I'm sure it's still 3.6 something. But guess what? The first time I traveled to Dubai, dollar was 103. If I still check my passport, I think it was 103 naira when I traveled in 2000, in the year 2000. Yeah, it was already up to 100 naira. It was 100 and something naira when I traveled. But today, where dollar it's heading towards. So, and then what I do is I used to sell men's shoes, men's clothing, children's clothing, you should name it, a lot of things. And I used to go to offices, I'll go and meet people, they will buy. At the end of the month, I'll come and collect money. It's either you're paying 3 times, 3 payments or 2 payments and all of that. And then I'll just go there, open the booth, people will pick. And at the end of the month, we'll be there to collect. But the thing is that those things you are picking, do you really need them? Yeah. Do you need them? You see beautiful shirt or designer shoes, designer bag. Do you need them? The ones in your house, your wardrobe, have you finished wearing them? You haven't finished wearing them. And here you are trying to buy more just because they brought them there. Especially those bankers. Hey, they were my good customers in those days. You like, but the thing is that you're wasting this money. People think that, some people said, that's the way you can acquire more. You don't need to acquire those things. Those things are like junk. You're just buying junk. You find some people, they will go to their wardrobe 6 months later, 1 year later, they haven't used some of the things that are there. Some things they've even forgotten they bought them. Meanwhile, you use the money that you could have saved, that you could have invested, that you could have put something, you use it to buy it. What happens when you buy things on credit is that you are spending the money you have not even worked for. So at the end of the day, you end up being the one always working for your money, but you never give your money the chance for your money to work for you. Because it's when you invest your money that your money is working for you. But then before you come, you bought it. Financial independence, working towards financial independence is it can be so lonely, it can be frustrating, it can make you a source of ridicule. You must be disciplined. You must have a sense of self-worth, high self-esteem. Otherwise, you're going to be falling by the wayside because everybody is wearing designers. You are not wearing designer. Do I look like I care? If you are going to wedding, you can wear 100,000 naira lace. Because me, if the something is more than 5,000, I'm not even buying it. I don't care. If you like, make noise. I know I don't need what I'm wearing to be the thing that determines what I'm at. There are people some people say, oh, because you wear hijab. It's not. There are people who you see them, they will spend little amount of money, but they have the courage to be able to carry themselves off. They sew their clothes. Somebody will even spend a whole lot of money, but they don't have the courage to carry it off. Hi, sweetie. Sorry about that interruption. It's always my husband. After I know it's over 30 minutes, he hasn't seen me. He will walk and come and find out what are you doing. It's always like that. Anytime I'm doing any live show, my husband is around, he must interrupt. Anyway, I'm his baby, and that's the way it is. It's 30 minutes. He hasn't seen me in 30 minutes. I'm not there gisting with you. Go and look for where I am. So coming back to so it's something that you can have the courage to be able to carry this thing up. It's all about your self-worth. So it's lonely. You have to be disciplined. You have to, the way Hausa people say, you will carry your mind far. Don't put it on. People will make fun of you. I mean, they will see you with this phone. They're like, oh, you have this small. Let me even tell you something. The first time I bought, what was it called now? Is it an Android phone, right? The one that you can do the first time I bought that was in 2012. Believe you me, it was even my siblings. They were tired of me. And this is me that I remember was it 2008 or 2007? I had gone to Dubai. And as I was getting to Dubai, there was this phone that came out. Then it was Nokia that used to rate. It was called N90. As I was landing into Dubai, that phone was coming. I remember buying that Dubai. I bought that phone then for $1,000. Yeah, 3,600 and something dirhams was what I bought. I bought it for it, and I bought it as a gift for my husband. That was around 2007 or 2008 or 9. I can't remember. It was myself and my kids that were in Dubai. I bought that. But then guess what? My own phone was this tiny phone that it wasn't an Android phone, the one that you just press 3310 kind of phone. I love 3310. I used that for a long time. You know, that phone, I bought it for my husband. My husband brought it home, and I think it was stolen. He never found it again. He was in Abuja. He was here. I don't know what happened. That phone the phone escaped. But yeah, I had my own 30, and I didn't care, and I loved it because then I wasn't doing social media. I only did Facebook, and I would do it on my laptop. I wasn't on any social media. Where do I have that? It was in 2014 that I joined Twitter and all of that. It was because of even Chibok girls that I joined. So for me, I didn't care. My siblings were, auntie, please, this your phone, and then MTN were doing one promo, and that was how I ended up buying my first Android phone. So they were doing promo, and my sister, I still have the phone. I still have the phone in my. If I had known, I would have bought one tiny phone like that, and that was what I was using. So it was when I now started, when we started bringing back our girls' movement, and I needed to be using my phone to tweet. I think that was when when I was going on Twitter. So they said we should start Twitter and everything. I didn't even know what Twitter was. I'm telling you, other than books, if I wasn't reading book, I would have been one of the most ignorant person. I wasn't really interested in social media because I didn't like news. I didn't want anything. So I now went to buy a phone to be able to use for my tweets, and that was the reason, and that was it from there on. But before then, I didn't care. I would hold my phone. I don't need to use it. I had my laptop and all of that. So you must be able to have that mind clarity of where you want to get at, what you're focused on. So it's not about impressing people. When you're working towards financial independence, I tell you, there's nothing like impressing anybody. You aren't going to be impressing people. In short, people are going to be irritated by, what are you doing? Is this car you are still driving? You are driving this car. You've been driving this car for how many years? But the thing is that if the car engine is good and can take you from point A to point B, why do you need to buy a new car? Why do you need to upgrade to a higher car? How many people actually know that you have those cars? We will come to it when we are talking about, impressing others, because that's what a lot of people do in terms of trying to that distract them from working towards that financial independence is the fact that a lot of people try to impress others. Meanwhile, nobody cares about what you're wearing, nobody cares about what you're doing, nobody cares about what you're doing out there. And one of the things that I put out recently on social media, a lot of people were like, oh, they don't even know that. They didn't know about the rule. Is the 18-40-60 rule. At 18, you care about what people say. You're bothered. You don't want to do certain because people will talk, or you do certain things before people will talk. You want to impress people. You want to do that. At 40, you don't care about what people say. You are not even bothered. You do your own thing. They can let them. You can go to places for all you care. You do your own thing. Then at 60, you realize that actually, nobody was thinking about you. Nobody was bothered about it. Everybody had their own problem, and they were busy solving all of that problem and doing that and getting away with it. So I'm trying to just look at what some of the people that oh my goodness. One of the things that I find very, very funny is when I'm doing online show and I see people who are coming in and they're trying to insult me, and like, they're putting out insults or trolling. And I'm wondering, is it that they think they can get a reaction away from me? The thing is that I'm mad die, no be small thing. The only person that is allowed to make me angry is myself. No other person. The only person is myself, and I decide what I get angry over. So if you like, come to my face and say, Aisha, you be Aisha. I go look at and say, they are not a said to you, Shebi. Any other thing pass that one? Pass that one. So unless I just say it always, 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 always so funny. And then it happens. And then the people are like, oh my goodness, you see, people should be calming down, Jerry. So let me come back. I'm trying to see. I've been hearing my voice too. Look for. Oh, somebody said that. Okay, this one. I see my ZSOS suite. And she said, I used to be obsessed a few years ago with always buying the latest phone. Actually, that's an addiction. Honestly, I think that addiction, there's an addiction of spending. I think before we get to this thing, you just need to have a handle on it. If you even need to do therapy for it, please. They will always keep coming. The latest phone will never stop. 2 months after PAM, another one has come out. Before 1 year PAM, they brought in another one with more of this. You have to be able to have that discipline to say no. You're not going to. It's just like cars. Every year they bring out more cars. If you're buying cars, they tell you within 1 year they'll bring out a better design. And so if you become like the latest like a fat junkie, like everything that is coming up, you have to do it. You find out you will never able to keep any money. You won't have anything. You just be desperately working for money, and it goes on and on and on and on. And even these days of credit cards, online shopping, you see a lot of things, and it's like wow. They will tell you, okay, you can pay small. Banks will tell you that you can actually go on holidays on loan, come and just pick it, and you'll be paying little by little. That little by little is something. You end up paying more. You end up mortgaging your future. So what you do when you borrow to buy things is that you're mortgaging your future for your present, right? Did I get that right? Yes. You're using your future to maintain this present. And then when you get to that future, you find out that a lot of people can no longer maintain it. One quick example I normally give are bankers. It always happens with bankers. You see them, they're earning so much money, they have this fast life, they're doing so well, they're flashy. I mean, it's an industry where people have to keep up. There's this thing about, the shoe you're wearing, the clothes you're wearing, the design, is it labels or whatever. I always look at designer labels. I'm like, is it because you put your name there that I will now come and put this amount of money to go and buy it? It has never been something that has ever moved me. Because I can't even be bothered. So because you now put your label, I now go and cough so many extras to be able to say, well, I'm holding what's those things? Is it blinking bag? A big thing? Or whatever wristwatch or wristwatch of no. Is it shop pad or whatever? My swatch is also good for me, and I'm okay with it. It's all about you. It's not about what you're wearing. The self-esteem and self-worth actually does come from in that. Yeah, when you look good, you know, it gives you an extra. But ensure that your pocket is able to keep it. So when you keep up with buying all of these the newest, they will always bring it on. And then the Ashwebi people, you are going for where they are spending 100K, 50K, you're borrowing money to go and do Ashwebi. Is it your wedding? If they say you cannot be among the bridal train if you don't have Ashwebi, now by force, go there as get. In short, in this day and era, man say, are you people still traveling for wedding? Instead of traveling, put the transport money, gift, and open and send it to the person's account. There's no need. So being denied opportunity to be in the bridal train, it's not a reason for you to go and start borrowing money to be able to buy that Ashwebi or whatever it is. And so in everything that you're doing, you have to be smart. Don't keep working hard. Work smart and be able to work towards that your financial independence. Okay. So the question now is, what if you're already in debt? What if you're already overhead? Your salary is not enough because you're owing so much people. You have to pay this for this loan, for that loan, for those loan, car loan, furniture loan, house, this one loan, that one loan. You're so much. Take a breather. Calm down. It's not the end of the world. There's a way out. All you need to do, like the richest man in Babylon talked about, once we go along with this, I think we'll get to a place where we are reviewing the book, and because I've done a lot of that review, I haven't done it put it out on my social media handles, but we'll do it more. So what you need to do is calm down, take a breather, sit down, take your pen and biro, and write down all that you're owing. Because you can't keep paying debts before it comes and then you think you're going to build wealth. If building wealth has to be very deliberate. I've seen a lot of people who are like, oh, we don't have money, and so this thing is not. Well, if you're thinking until you have money before you learn financial literacy, good luck to you. It's a choice. Like it's not Jim Rohn, it was Henry Ford that said, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. Either way, you're right. That's what Henry Ford said, and that's it. So it's left for individual, whatever your mind think it is. That's what it is going to be. And so the first thing that you need to do if you're overwhelmed right now and you're so much in debt and everything is to first of all stop buying a lot of the things that you're buying. And one of the ways to do is that whenever you want to buy something, ask yourself, is it a need or a want? We'll talk about this more when we are talking about budgeting and all of that. Is it a need or a want? If it is a need, go ahead and buy it. If it's a want, forget about it. Need are things that you cannot do without. Wants are things that they are just there. They add more fun to life. They are luxury, but it's not by must. Nobody say you must eat. Nobody say you must eat food with meat. Because if you are looking for protein, beans is protein. There are a lot of protein. You don't need to have to say you must eat beef. If your money no reach, buy fish. If you no get money for fish, buy pomo. If pomo no do, you eat the food like that. Put crayfish, grind and put on top. You're still getting your balanced diet if you're thinking about balanced diet. But you cannot go and start buying turkey and eating turkey when you don't even have, when you ordinarily, you cannot even afford ice fish. It is maybe you borrow that money. You cannot go and be buying, especially you have a car that is consuming fuel. Go and look for a smaller car that it's not consuming fuel, that you'll be able to manage. So the first thing is to stop buying additional things. So all the additional things that you buy, you cut it down to the barest minimum. What are your needs? Your needs are things like your house rent. Your house rent is a must because you need a roof over your head. Food, basic food is a must. You need a food over, but not the one that you now go and buy pizza for 5,000 naira, 6,000 naira, 10,000 naira. That's not a need. That's a want. Eba and egusi soup can be a need, but your pizza and ice cream is not a need. They are all food. Yes, agree, they are all food. Your NTA, watching your NTA channel can be a need, but you going on cable this, before I call their name now, they will not say that I'm the one that is stopping people from buying their market. You going on cable this, it's not a need, it's a want. Doing there are some basic social media that you will do. You use your data to do some certain basic social media. It's a need. But when you are doing so many, this is not a want. If you are not doing business or whatever, there are people that can afford. Like the other day, my siblings saw me. I was doing some YouTube. I don't know how to. They say they will download YouTube. I watch YouTube. They were like, hey, auntie, you are watching YouTube. Direct. You are not thinking of data. Like, because if the data finish, I'll buy another one. So for me, it is no longer it's a need that I can afford. If you cannot afford such need, don't go and buy it. Don't go and be putting your money there. Do the basic that you can do. So this is how you first of all put your things. Your clothing, the clothing you have in your house. I bet to all of you that are listening to me, you have enough clothing in your wardrobe that will last you in the next 1 year or 2 years without you buying additional clothes. They are not going to tear off your body. If you have 5 clothes, you are rich. When I was growing up, when I was as a baby in this higher institution, I didn't have up to 5 clothes. I no die. I still survive. I mean, they see so. So if you have 5 clothes, you can survive. If you go to your wardrobe today and say, in the next 1 year or 2 years, if some of you can take that challenge, go and look at your wardrobe and say, in the next 2 years, I'm not going to buy any clothes. Any money you would have used to buy any clothes, save it, and then 2 years later, see what you would have gotten. So those are when it comes to needs and what. There's somebody is selling designer shirt, they brought shirt to your office. Is it a need or a want? If you have shirt already in your house, then it is no longer a want, it's a need. So needs, things like school fees for those who have children or those who are in school. School fees is a need. You need to pay school fees and all of that. So there are other things that are like holiday, going on holidays abroad or anywhere. It's not a need, it's a want. You can do without it. It just makes life finer, better. Dining out, going to dine, going for dinner where you probably spend 10,000, 5,000, 10,000, 20, 30,000, depending on the kind of hotel that you went to. It's actually a want. It's not a need. A need is you to stay at home, get your basics, get your food stuff, cook the basic food and eat it there. So in this way, you are not incurring more debt. So if you're already overwhelmed with debt, don't incur more debt. And then the next thing is that you write out all the money that you're owing, write out all the people that you're owing. You meet them one on one. See what is happening. I'm sorry. Instead of people are calling you, you are not picking your phone, or you're running away, or you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, or you're borrowing more money. Just meet those people and say to them, we're sorry. We're sorry in the sense that we have not been able, I'm not able to pay this money. I've borrowed it. I thought I'll be able to pay it by now, but I'm not able to. And I'm owing other people. If you want to, these are the people I'm owing so amount to other people. I'm going to start paying you. I'm not going to pay the way I had promised to or the way you want me to, but I'm going to start paying you little by little. And every month when I get certain amount, I'll bring it. And then you start. Then you bring your salary, your salary or your income or whatever it is that you're earning, and you say to yourself that this is how much I'm earning. I must keep away at least 1/10 of my money. People pay everybody, they forget to pay themselves. They will pay house rent, they will pay everybody. They that are doing the work, they will never set money aside for them. That's why they say pay yourself first. When you get that money, remove the one that is your own. You can do 10% of it, you can do 20. There are some people that can afford to save up to 70% of their salaries, especially those who don't have as much expenses, who don't have children, who don't have so many of those expenses. There are certain jobs that you have. Your colleague probably has more children, more whatever with you, more expenses. But yet, at the end of the month, you both are the same level, or sometimes they're even better than you. The thing is that the more you earn, the more your taste bud increase. You can go to a restaurant and blow 30,000 on a meal at a city, and then you move away. You don't think about it, but somebody else will use that 30,000 to eat for a month. So these are the things. So if you look at all of those things, you'll be able to save according to what you have. And it's much easier to save when you're single and alone and much younger. It's so much easier to save because you have less of expenses. It's just that many people do not think about working towards their financial independence when they are much younger. It's later on in life that they begin to think about it. But it's something that should be done even while you're a teenager. You should start planning towards your financial independence. These things are very, very important. So when you have that, if it's 10%, You keep 10% aside. You always, no matter what, then the other remaining for you keep the ones basic for your expensive, for your needs, because you don't have the luxury of getting wants anymore. You do the one for your needs, and then you begin to pay all of these people off little by little by little. Some of them might insult you, just like they did to the person who was trying to pay off his debts in the richest man in Babylon. Some of them might not want it, but just keep consistently keep paying them, keep paying them. In a few years, probably you're able to pay off your debt. And when you pay off your debt, you find out that that extra money you were using to pay them off, you can actually be saving it. And they don't just save and keep money. Keeping money is the most useless thing you can ever do, especially in an economy like Nigeria, especially in an economy like Nigeria, where money is always spoiling the value. I saw so somebody said that this pound is already at 700, right? In March last year, March 2020, pounds was around 474. Yeah, it was around 474. See what it is right now. So if you're keeping your money as cash, is this person, what's this person's name? Oh gosh, forgotten his name. This guy that is one of the biggest, Warren Buffett, the top investor in the world. He said that cash is the worst kind of investment you can have, and it's especially true when you are in Nigeria, living in Nigeria with Naira as the money. Is the worst kind of investment because inflation will destroy it. Between last year and this year, some of the things you're buying now, they already tripled their price. So imagine you kept cash instead of actually acquiring the things. The money is going to be worth less. But if you have assets, one asset, the assets will be going, will grow along, even though it takes a bit of time. For example, right now, the properties and everything, they've not caught up with the rate of inflation because it went up so much high and people don't have money. So it's still a bit slow. And that's why I say to people, especially those who don't think of moving your money out of this thing. Rather, buy properties. This is the time to pick up properties. A lot of properties are in the market. People are selling because people need money to be able to meet their needs. And then from this year, also in the next 2 years, is going to be election time. And one of the things that normally happens during election time is that people sell off their properties to be able to run for elections. So guess what? The property market is filled. There's a glut and it's always cheap. You can always get people who are selling off their properties at a giveaway price. And so that's also an opportunity that can be used. And so when that money we're using to pay debts, like I said, you now begin to invest it little by little, you're adding to it, you get something, you invest. One of the things that I love is always an issue of properties. For me, that's my own area. They say business makes you rich, real estate makes you wealthy, and then it helps you taking it little by little. It doesn't. It can be small. The ones that are really tough are always like lands. And for me, I advise people as much as possible acquire. So that brings me to the issue of some of the questions that people were asking me today was the fact that what's going on about what do you call this thing now? Insecurity. That with the insecurity, will it pay for somebody to invest? I said, okay, well, it's all a matter of you can. There's no place at the end of the day, no matter what happens, people will still be there. But no, people are still there. You still need houses, they will still need hotels, they will still need to stay there. Even if there are crises, people that will come and help you with the crisis, they will need places to stay. And the worst case scenario, if you feel that you don't want to buy like already built properties, you can just do land. Even if somebody come and put fire in the land, they will only help you to clear the place. If you're staying in a particular place, because some people deny themselves opportunity to invest by saying, oh, these places are insecure, I can't build house here, what if riot, what if this, what if, but you're living there. Are you saying that the house is more important than your own life? You're living there. So what you need to do is to ensure that you're insuring. Insurance. I don't know how I will talk about insurance more. Insurance. So please ensure that you're insuring your properties, even your businesses, your stock, everything. Insure them against burglary, theft, special peril. Don't forget that special peril is very important because a lot of things are under there when it comes to riot and things like that. They are under special peril. So ensure that you are investing, you are insuring your thing. So when you do that insurance, there's a bit of relief that comes from it. So it's instead of not thinking about, oh, it's not about running away. Whenever there are crises, let me tell you something. It's an irony of life, but it's just the fact. Wherever there are crises, there are always opportunities. There are people who are panicking and running away and selling off their properties. It's an opportunity for somebody else to pick it. I'm also to everyone. We're almost coming to the end of the program. This is Love and Money Talk. And on Monday, we talk about money. On Fridays, we talk about love. And I've said it already that there are certain days I'm going to talk about Nigerian issue on 3 days. 2 other days, I'm going to talk about money on Monday, love. I'm going to talk about love on Friday. Like on this Friday now, we're going to talk about love. And I think the topic, I don't know, I'm not sure. I think it's self-love, right? Or was no. The topic, okay, we've talked about self-love before. What I'm going to talk about is about are you the hunter or the hunted in a relationship? So keep a date with me for that Friday. But other days, of course, on my social media handle, talk about Nigeria 3 days. Other days, just either promoting people's businesses and all of that. I'm one person who is very who is very how do I take it? Who takes serious whatever I'm doing. I'm always very deliberate about it, and it's one of the things I've done. In the last 7 years, I've allowed Nigeria to control my life, and almost all the conversation on my handle, it's always about, oh, this story will break. Oh my goodness, you're this, you're that. Nah, please. And there are people who learn, who over the years have gotten so much from those financial talk that I'm doing, and I hope if you're one of them, good. Whatever it is, don't worry. Keep going. Just keep doing it. It might sound, it's frustrating. It's tiring. It's annoying. You need discipline. You save the money. Something will come and eat it up. You start again. But you know what? Don't give up, because as long as you keep going, you will get there. And it's such a beautiful thing when you are actually at a place where you have financial literacy. And I tell you, in this Nigeria, you need it. Whether for you to have your own voice, you need your own money. If not, they will humble you in Nigeria. If not, they will take you and do anyhow. But when they know say you get your own pepper for hand, nobody they see you finish. Thank you so much for joining me today. God bless you. See you again on Friday, inshallah, where we'll be talking about love. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness, I keep forgetting this. I'm thinking it's touch screen and touching it, and I forget that it's not. Thank you.